There. Do you believe that a healer provides a temporary need or something that is lacking in another, such that they come to a regulated physical, mental, emotional, spiritual state of balance, such as providing energy, let's say? My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is Master Healer. I have been focused in the realms of healing and in the realms of medicine. I'm a medicine person, and I've been focused in the realms of medicine and come from a long line of healers as well. And you may as well. You may come from a line of healers, a line of medicine people, and may also have a similar focus. And what's so great about medicine and what's so great about healing is that there are so many things that you can study. And when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, my mom would often, anything that was going on, she would say, well, grab 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. If you don't know 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, she wrote, you can heal your life, or you can heal your body. And she is well known for working with AIDS and cancer patients. And she was working with consciousness and how consciousness can create certain conditions in the body. And the philosophy is really that thought is cause. When you think in certain ways, it can create dis-ease. It can create crystallization and dysfunction in the body. There's another book called Permanent Healing, if you've been a student at the School of Metaphysics like I have, that's similar in its construct, in which it addresses the origin or the source or the root as to why things manifest physically for an entity. And so we would go look it up, if you were getting a cold sore that was holding in angry words, or, it was like, you could look at what is the thinking that is leading to the imbalance on a physical level. Now, what's interesting as we've moved forward with science stepping into quantum mechanics, and quantum mechanics is used for quantum computing. So, quantum mechanics is something that we are actively using, and it is changing very rapidly the dynamics of how we advance technologically. In the construct known as quantum mechanics, of course, in 1801, Thomas Young created the double slit experiment by working with light coming through the window. And we started and have been proving again and again and again, because studies keep showing and keep validating that everything in the room that we think of as particles, that we think of as atoms, are actually waves of probability. The room isn't actually set. Consciousness walks into a room and expects the room to look like XYZ, and all of these waves of probability that essentially have multi-locality. So I'm talking about an atom, a singular thing that should be in a singular space, is in multiple spaces. And it isolocates, is what I would say, into a space-time location as a result of consciousness having walked in the room. And so Heather Feather walks into the room, expects this book to be here, and there it is. But when she's not looking at it, it's kind of everywhere. And then when she looks at it again, there it is. And so this new awareness that we're having around quantum awareness is strengthening this understanding that what we are thinking about and the ways we are thinking, we are causing to bring about. Heather Feather has had the pleasure and the grace and the honor and the tremendous wonderfulness, because she's had such a medicinal focus and because like attracts like, that I've actually known many shamans, medicine people, those that are healers, those that work, psychic surgeons, medical intuitives. I've had the grace of knowing a lot of really powerful healers in this realm. For me, there are a very, 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 very small group of entities on this planet that Heather Feather prefers to work with when it comes to constructs like healing. And that's because if I'm going to work with something other than my sovereign autonomous self and the knowing I've garnered as somebody who's studied medicine and healing her whole life, I want to make sure that I'm working with someone that is of my caliber of consciousness around the topic of healing, or more advanced. And everything I have to say today has no judgment on your own philosophy. I'm not here to correct you. I'm not here to judge you. Sometimes it's helpful to say those things because we can mishear people when they speak often, when things don't agree. To me, a master healer, to me, Yeshua ben Joseph, Jesus the Christed one, to me, many people have walked the earth that have been masterful in their healing. And master healers do not agree with your disease. They don't even agree with the consciousness that created the disease. They understand that there was some type of thinking that got rooted in separation, disconnection from the infinite, eternal, loving being that you are. And rather than seeing you as being diseased because of your stinking thinking and therefore needing to get into alignment, they simply remove any attachment or awareness or agreement with the idea that you could ever be disconnected from the eternality that you are. And Heather Feather, for her entire life and all the studies that I've done, I've had wonderful things I've studied that have connected me to this. But really the entire time I've always felt this peace that the most powerful way you can heal yourself or any being is to know that it's already done, to stop agreeing that non-healed is a state that's present, to understand your eternality, to commune with the eternal love that you are, to be present with your state of eternal wellness because you are eternal, you know what I mean? And to get into alignment with that. And I'm being given lots of opportunity to practice my philosophy, which I'm so grateful for that opportunity. What I want to say is I had an Akashic Records reading because I was curious. I've always felt a really strong connection to Mary Magdalene. I relate to her in certain ways, and not that I am of the same ilk or caliber, but just her life experiences and the devotion to spirit, to eternality, to the eternal wisdoms, and the trials and tribulation of being vilified just because of being misunderstood in one's character. And so I asked the Akashic Records recently in a reading, did I know Jesus or did I know Mary Magdalene? And it said, yes, I was an orphan. And Mary Magdalene worked with many different orphans and helped many orphans. And when I was around the age of 10, I did get to work a bit with Jesus. And he was teaching me this piece that it is love, it is connectivity to the awareness that only wellness is present. We don't agree with the disease, And Mary Magdalene worked a lot more directly with me and started training me in this modality in which we hold conscious awareness that only wellness is present, an eternal being is present, and we recognize them being perfect, whole, and complete, and lacking nothing and needing nothing. We don't agree with the diseased thought. We don't agree with the disconnected consciousness. We only see the truth that is always true underneath these stories we create and tell called this illusory holographic world. And the power of the majesty of that consciousness assists the quantum waves of probability to flip to the multiverse in which that is the place that you are standing. And so as Heather is in a deep focus right now on her wellness, I'm really stepping towards applying my medicine to myself. And I feel it's like even though I know a lot of medicine people that I love, and I'm so grateful they're on the earth and I'm grateful they're assisting. If someone is very addicted to the belief that they need someone to provide them energy, then providing them energy would be supportive and conducive to their healing. Oh my goodness, thank you for providing me energy. I was low energy and now you gave it to me and now I have some. For me, I am energy. I'm made out of atoms. Like every time Heather Feather says, oh my God, I'm so tired, I always laugh and go, ha, you're made of energy, you clown. Like, just a different, you're made of energy. It's so logical to be tired. I'm literally made out of atoms, which are energy, and it's so that I don't follow that collective consciousness of always having to be so tired about existing, It's like, girl, you sleep every day. Calm down with this. And so what is it that you believe when it comes to the construct of healing? For me, I don't want someone to provide me energy. I don't need you to provide me energy. I'm made out of energy. I am eternal. And you providing me energy means that you're starting from the premise of believing that I am lacking, believing that I am without, believing that I am in need. And I don't have any interest if my aim is to operate in optimal wellness in all the quadrants of being, to have someone begin sending me attention that I am without and they are the source of what I need and I don't hold it. What do you believe causes someone to be a master healer? How do you think masterful healing happens? Any of the masters I've ever studied, the way that they healed is by knowing that the work was done and not associating with some false story that says you can be without. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. I'm Moon.